If you're serious about buying, the most important conversation is before you tour homes. If you're serious about buying, the most important conversation is before you tour houses. Our Google Meet exists to prevent expensive mistakes, not to pressure you into anything, John. Because this is exactly what those big-haired Texan broads are saying. This is exactly. They're reading their hooks. They're just doing their thing and, getting engagement.
Is that the beginning of We Fixed Real Estate?
Oh, God, yes. I'm now in Texas and I have very big hair.
So Fred, welcome to We Fixed Real Estate. We're doing a solo show today and you are dressed like you're going to the Arctic.
Okay. I'm in Los Angeles. I've been in San Francisco the last 2 weekends. It's California cold. You know how there's California sober? This is California cold. This is brand new. I bought it in San Francisco. It's just freaking unbearable. So we do have winter here, people. And especially in San Francisco, it changes per block. So,
yeah, we've had some really incredible weather, but even down here in San Diego, I've got the heater on behind me, so I don't have a coat on. But we've got this low fog that just traps all moisture that makes everything seem 10 times colder than it is.
Yeah. And I was flying yesterday and I could just see it just sitting there. It's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, heaven forbid you drive the I-5 in the Central Valley. I've done that before when they have the Thule fog. For the whole month, it's just been completely blanketed in this dense fog. And that's the type of fog that you get those 100-car pileups because no one can see anything.
So what you should be doing is working out of your house and loving your house. Mm-hmm. Okay. So a lot of you can do that. So I have to have a little commercial here because what you said just brought me to that. We have this listing, the one here in the middle. It's a almost brand new house in Morgan Hill. Now, Morgan Hill is, shoot me if I get this wrong, 15 miles south of San Jose, basically. Mm-hmm. Not far. It's got a Caltrain station in its cute little downtown. And this house, we're asking $4,199,888. But if this was in Cupertino, it'd be $8 million easily. So location, 6,000 square feet. You can stay home, have a good time, and don't drive around in the fog. There you go. We just solved the commuter problem. Obviously, not all of you can afford $4,199,888, but, for the couple of you that might be listening and they can, think about it.
That's excellent advice. But what you cannot afford, no matter what price range you're in, is waiting too long to engage an agent. And that's the topic of our show today, is why engaging with an agent earlier, preferably Arrivva, will solve a lot of problems that most buyers don't see coming.
That's why we love to do Google Meets. And they exist to prevent expensive mistakes. We're not, as you can probably figure out, we're not the salesy type. We're not going to, we don't have scripts. We don't have coaches. We're just there to kind of go through the whole situation. What we do is
like a risk audit.
Yeah.
Like a risk audit. I can't even say that.
Risk audit. Yes, exactly. And we look at different things that you wouldn't even think of. And there's one thing specifically we tell people to do ahead of time that no one has ever thought of this. And that is, remember to find yourself a good insurance person. And whatever house you're really semi-serious about, find out how much the insurance is going to be, or if you can get insurance from them, or do you have to go fair plan, or is there a way to do a modified fair plan, or in between fair plan and, the names, there are other types of reinsurance. So you don't know. And this way, you don't want to fall in love with the place and then find out you can't buy it, or there's some reason that, there's going to be a problem. So that's one of the big things, to give you an example. But we talk about stuff, especially in the contract. And the one thing that we push is pre-approvals and a fully underwritten pre-approval. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to get the mortgage anyway. You're going to have to get through the process. So no one can give me a clear answer as to why not get it done ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So because you don't know what a lender's going to ask for. You go through a mortgage a couple times in your life. And, all of a sudden, hey, I'm a nice guy. Why are you asking for all this? Well, they might be because they have to sell it on the secondary market, or they have guidelines they have to follow for what you think is stupid stuff. So get it out of the way. Mm-hmm. So there are two situations usually: a competitive situation when you're bidding on a property, and a non-competitive situation. We love non-competitive. It's fun. It's like, let's see how cheap we can get it and how many contingencies we can put to protect you. Whereas if, there's houses we put bids on this week where they've had 50 offers. So it's just come in, highest price, cash, settle in an hour and take it, that's no fun. But we want you to be prepared for both of them. And that mortgage pre-approval has a lot to do with it. So if you're going to buy a house where you're competing against other people, realize everybody else is fully underwritten, pre-approved. So you have to at least stay on that level with them.
Yeah.
There's cash buyers you have to go against. We even have a program that makes you into a cash buyer. We can go into a lot of detail. It's a separate podcast, and I think we should do that. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, if it's a non-competitive situation, you're going to try to get it for the lowest price you can, but we're going to give it some ammunition. We're going to say to the seller, look, we want it for this price, but I'll tell you what, and this is maybe something you give up in a second round, we'll waive the mortgage contingency. That'll make you feel better for taking our lower price. Mm. So there's reasons to do it in both ways. What we're going to do is keep going through that purchase contract. And so you understand it, and what you understand are important, and time is of the essence. Dates are of the essence. You're supposed to do things. We make sure that you get alerts and counter invites for every single event that's going to happen. So again, we try to go and get you all the information from the back end up front so that you're ready to go. Yeah. And that you understand it.
Makes entire sense, because working back from the contracts makes sure that it helps you create a more, a better offer, because the context of that offer within the contract, working backwards, because the phrase is contracts don't care how excited you are.
Exactly. I have no emotion when it comes to the contract. It's, let's see what the best is we can get to. It's really what it comes down to. The other thing that you will have to sign, because state law, no matter what state you're in, and we've been doing this for years anyway, signing a non-exclusive contract. Let me repeat, non-exclusive contract, meaning you have to want to use us. We can't force you to use us. We can't force you to pay us, which is obscene, obnoxious, disgusting, especially for agents who ask you for an exclusive contract at an open house that you happen to walk into. It's like, let's get married. Like, seriously? So, you'll want to have this conversation with us before you tour homes. We're actually going to teach you how to go to open houses. I'm gonna let that be suspenseful and not give it away. But when you come and talk to us, we'll explain it. It takes a little while too. But there's some great things that are going to save you money in an open house. So again, if you're serious about buying, the most important conversation is before you tour homes. Our Google Meets exists to prevent these expensive mistakes, and no pressure. And that's for our states that are licensed in, but we do have something interesting for the rest of you. right?
Yes, we do. It's called nationwide cashback.
That's right. So here's the story. Let's say you're looking to buy a house in Philadelphia. So right now I'm not licensed in Pennsylvania. I'm licensed to do mortgages, but not real estate. We're getting back. But on a customer of Philly, because I know Philly, I grew up in Philly, Goldbergs. Cool. It's, get arrested for not saying go birds. Anyway, so you're looking to buy, let's say you're looking at Rittenhouse Square. You found this nice house on Pine Street, 2200 block. So it's really Fitler or Ritfit. The argument goes on forever where the borderline is. So you're looking to buy and you need an agent. So what you do is you contact us, and here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to say to you, all right, we will help you find an agent. We will help negotiate comp, meaning, they can't get away with bullshitting me, but they can bullshit you. And I shouldn't say it like that. Isn't this a PG podcast? Or we can bleep it.
You can say bullshit.
Okay.
I just heard that in a high school play this weekend. You can say it.
Okay, so Trump said bullshit is okay to say now. Okay, that's great. So anyway, we find an agent. We help negotiate comp. And or let's say, okay, we found a great agent, but they charge 3%, but they're amazing. And we say, okay, fine. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to negotiate with that agent a referral fee, which has been going on for years behind everybody's back. But here I'm tired of twisting it all around. I'm trying to help you get it. And what happens is we get that 25% referral fee. It's normally 25, could be more, could be less. We only take $750 for helping you do all this, and you get the rest as a rebate.
Money the agent wouldn't have gotten previously.
The agents are happy to give away these 25% referral fees just to get the business. It's a cost of doing business. So, okay, fine. We're going to help you. We're going to try to vet them. We're going to go through, what's Wendy's thing? These ethical agents, this association that we're involved in, that registers. Housing Rebel, thank you. I'm too cold to remember. Housing Rebel. So, we'll go through those agents because we want to give them the business because they are, more ethical. But whatever, we'll find you an agent anywhere. But they're happy to give the 25% out anyway. So we might as well give a nice chunk of it back to you. It is tax-free. Enjoy it. And we've researched it. And because they're referring to us, who's a California company who's not licensed in Oregon, we can give you people in Oregon rebates. How's that? So it's a way around the law. I'm sure.
Loophole, not a technical rebate, but the fact that you're in California.
We'll call it something else. Okay, so sue me. It's like, hello.
So $750 is a very inexpensive price to pay for the negotiation tactics, the guidance, any of the tips that you provide, and the handoff. And then you're basically saving what you would have been paying the buyer's agent over there. And the buyer's agent's happy because they're still getting 75% of the commission.
Yeah, exactly. And look, be honest, we're licensed to do mortgages in Pennsylvania. If you want to get a fully underwritten pre-approval for free from us, it's free unless you go with us. If you go with us, obviously, we have a fee and you have to pay for the credit report. So, but you'll see our rates are better and I'll tell you why. Here's the quick explanation. If you have a $500,000 loan, usually a mortgage banker, broker will charge you 1.5% to 2% as their fee. Now, you may not see the fee because you're going to have a higher rate with no points or maybe a rebate, but it's always built in there. We have a flat fee of $5,750 for our mortgages. So especially when you get into the higher amounts, we're ridiculously cheaper. So, and we know what we're doing with purchases. You go to a mortgage person, they just kind of know what's going on in the mortgage business. They don't know what's going on in the real estate business too. We do this every day. So, we throw that in as an extra. You're going to get my knowledge. I can't, I'm not licensed. I can't do licensed activities in the state, but I can guide you on things that aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. You get all me, and we do it in a Slack channel. Make life easier. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it's great communications.
That's good. So that is rolling out. And also one thing on rates, if you want to see live rates, go to arriva.com/rates. And you can sign up to get live rate notices. Which brings us to the common thread on this show. The Fed. Why Fed headlines do not help you buy a house. Ignore the Fed.
No, ignore every mortgage and real estate person who starts out their social media with the Fed lowered by a quarter of a point today. That tells me they didn't even understand simple basic economics of kind of how the whole system works, the mortgage system. You got to kind of know that. I mean, the mortgage licensing system, it's not an easy course and test. It's, if it was, everybody would do it. But I'm not going to even explain it. Don't worry about it. Rates change every day. They change on a whim. They change because somebody made up something. They change on a lie. They change because oil tanker got seized. They change because the president farted in the wrong direction. Anything could change rates. So the Fed's got nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's short-term rates. Yeah, exactly. 10-year treasury, 10-year mortgage-backed security. That's how the world works. Okay. Period, done. End of sentence. Let's stop talking about it, but don't go to these people anymore is my points.
Just to put another little bullet point on it, I mean, if you're sitting there waiting for the perfect thing and you're depending on the Fed, you're going to miss out on the home you like. You're going to lose negotiating leverage, and you're probably going to end up overpaying in other ways. The only thing you can really control is the purchase structure, the agent compensation, which with Arriva, we've got it taken care of for you, inspection posture, and you got to stop making decisions based on the Fed headlines. Mortgage rates don't work that way. Control what you can, the structure and the costs, and stop waiting for perfect conditions.
And you know what? The Arriva tie-in is flat fee, cashback, reduce the cost regardless of where you go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real control.
That is, $97.50. It doesn't matter if rates are 20% or 10% or 5% or 3%. You're still going to get the same cash back. Or you're going to get, depends on the housing price.
I have some developers who come to me and they love having the cash back because the bank, once they have to borrow money to do construction. And they say, okay, let's jack the price up a little bit and ask the seller to give us 5% back. And I take $97.50. They get the rest. They got some money to work with so they don't have to pay interest on. So developers, this is why you use us. Money, 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 money. So especially commercial deals. By the way, we will do commercial deals. So in California only for now.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, this has been a good episode. I've learned a lot just in this conversation. I think this has been a great episode of We Fixed Real Estate.